Hello everyone, this is CA Ayush Goyal, and today we are going to start strategic cost management and performance evaluation CA final new syllabus course. Okay, and our today's topic would be balance scorecard. So what basically the balance scorecard is? Look, balance scorecard basically is a performance evaluation technique. Okay, performance evaluation, as the name suggests, what is it? It's a technique which is used to evaluate the performance of an entity. Okay, how can we evaluate the entity whether it's going on a right track or not? Okay, this is what we call the performance evaluation. Okay, one thing why I started this with the performance evaluation, because I have seen that people usually underestimate this topic, performance evaluation, but I find that there used to be short question of 16 marks or 16 mark questions, I could say, from performance evaluation. Okay, and secondly, this has a very limited syllabus, performance evaluation. So I really find performance evaluation very scoring. That's why I started it with performance evaluation, and the first topic or today's topic is balance scorecard. Okay, so let's begin. What is performance evaluation? Look, we have done numerous time in past, whether in B class 12th or in CPT IPCC, we have done ratios. Okay, we have done return on equity, residual income, and so on. These all we can say is a performance evaluation technique. We all know we evaluate the performance of an entity by ratio, whether our current ratio is correct or not, whether its interest coverage ratio, whether our EBIT is sufficient to pay out our interest or not. This is basically a performance evaluation technique, but these all are financial ways to evaluate the performance of an entity. Okay, financial ways. Why financial? In the sense, because we use financial figures in these kind of techniques to evaluate the performance. Okay, and the second technique is not non-financial technique. Okay, non-financial, I could not say non-financial because finance comes everywhere. If we are reading CA, we are the student of finance, so finance comes everywhere. I could say it not purely finance. Okay, not purely financial technique to evaluate the performance of an entity. It contains finance as well. It contains some elements of finance as well as some elements of non-financial ways. Okay, what examples could be of this way? It could be performance prism, performance pyramid, it could be balance scorecard, and so on. There could be a number of examples of non-financial ways as well. Okay, so let's begin today's topic. It's balance scorecard. So I could say it's a not purely financial technique to evaluate the performance of an entity. Okay, what is balance scorecard? Look, firstly let me tell you that business is not all about the profit. It's something related to the future growth and moving ahead. It's not all about today's profit. Our definitely ultimate objective of any business is to satisfy the shareholders who have actually invested the money, who has started the business. So ultimate objective is profit, we can say, but to reach to that ultimate objective we have to pass through many of the steps. Okay, it's not all about ki you can earn profit on the very first step. You have to follow certain procedures, certain protocols to achieve that objective of profit. And that's what balance scorecard shows, that whether your business is doing good, not only in one aspect but also in all the aspect, whether this aspect is financial or not, but all the aspect your business is doing good to achieve that ultimate goal of profit. Okay, so balance scorecard basically comprises four aspects of four perspectives. first perspective. What is it? It is financial perspective. As I said, finance is the key of everything. It's the important, but not only. Okay, it's the important objective of any business, but it's not the only objective of the business. First is financial perspective. We evaluate a business from the perspective of the finance, whether our business is able to satisfy our shareholders or not. Okay, we will discuss it in details. Second is customer perspective or customer aspective. Okay, what is customer aspective? Customer aspective, it says that whether our business is able to satisfy our customer or not. Okay, customer, you can say the customer is the key of any business, and the business cannot survive without the customers. And to survive the business, we have to satisfy, we have to keep the customers attached with us. We cannot simply say that we are selling the product to customer only once and we do not want that customer back. We want to retain that customer, and to retain the customer we have to satisfy the customer. So balance scorecard says you have to see your business from the customer perspective, whether you are able to meet the demand of the customer or not. The third is internal business perspective. What is internal business perspective? Internal business perspective basically is it shows whether our internal control is sufficient enough, it's good enough to meet the demand of balance 2. Our internal control should not be like it's hindering us to meet the financial perspective or the customer perspective. Our internal control should be strong enough to actually support us to move ahead in the future and to satisfy other perspective. Okay, fourth is learning, innovation and growth perspective. What is learning, innovation and growth perspective? Look, the best example of this can be taken as Nokia. Okay, we all know that when the Nokia was the leading mobile phone manufacturing company before the Android. Sorry, as the Android came, Nokia decided not to adopt it. It decided not to go ahead with the market. It decided to follow its old techniques. It do not went for the new technique, and we all know the result, that Nokia do not come in today's market in mobile phone manufacturing or selling company. However, it is started now its collaboration with the Android and it started manufacturing mobile again, but that time Nokia was completely ruined because it do not adopted to go with the market. Okay, so we can see how important learning, innovation and growth is for any business to grow. Okay, so some history about the balance scorecard. Look, balance scorecard basically started in 1992 by whom? Robert Kaplan and David Norton. If you ask me whether these things are important to remember, important to write in the exam, I would certainly say no. These are not important for any question which is asking you to calculate the balance scorecard of any business or to prepare the balance scorecard of any business. These figures are not important. But suppose there's a question, there's a theory question which is saying you that what is balance scorecard? They are asking something about the balance scorecard, that describe the balance scorecard, how it can be prepared, all these kind of questions. Okay, if you start your answer with these figures, that it is started in 1992 by two businessmen, Robert Kaplan and David P. Norton, you would shine more than anyone else, because certainly no one would write these names or this time figure in their exam. If you're writing that, Certainly you will impress the examiner, and this is all about the exam. We are there to clear the exam, and we can do anything to clear that. So these figures are important, these names are important to write over there when you are writing a theory question relating to balance scorecard. Okay, so now let's go with some detail of all these four aspects. The first aspect is financial aspect. What is financial aspect? Look, financial aspect basically tells us whether we are able to satisfy the need or the ambition of the shareholder. We all know that shareholders are the one who are concerned with the profit of the entity. Okay, if we talk about the person who have given us the loan, he wants the interest. Okay, if we talk about the employee, they want the salary. But shareholder or equity shareholder are the only one who want the profit of the company to grow to the large extent, so then they can earn much and much of dividend, or I could say profit. So in financial perspective, we try to satisfy the demand of the shareholder. Whether we are able to satisfy the shareholder or not, we see in the financial perspective. How we can evaluate the financial performance of the company? As I said earlier, it's return on investment, residual income, ratios, etc. So on. There can be a number of techniques to evaluate the financial aspect of an entity. Okay, I'll tell you in the last what type of question would be asked. I'll tell some examples that are given in your study material. We will do that as well. Okay, so we are clear with the financial aspect, what the financial aspect is, and how can we what can we do in the financial aspect. Okay, the second aspect is customer aspect. Now what the customer aspect is, look, suppose there's one customer who buy washing machine from us. Okay, after 1 year his washing machine is not working properly, and he contacted us that please send some technician for this because it's in the warranty period. Okay, suppose our after sales service are so bad that we are not able to send the technician to him for 20 days. Whether he would be there next time to our business to buy some other product, he would certainly not even recommend someone to buy the product from our company. So you know that how good how important it is for an entity to make its goodwill. Okay, we cannot let our customer go because customer creates customer. So that's why Kaplan and Norton, they find that the customer perspective is the most important perspective for the growth of an entity. That's why they included the customer perspective in the balance scorecard. So what we can include in the customer perspective, we can include the grievance redressal, we can include after sales services that we are given or we can give to the customer, and so on. There can be a number of examples of that. We can say the benefits that we can give to our customer. Okay, there can be a number. So we are clear with customer perspective as well. The third perspective is internal growth perspective. Look, in internal growth perspective, it's internal business perspective. What is internal business perspective? In internal business perspective, we say that our internal control, our internal business should be strong enough that it support the other aspect of our business. Okay, it should not hinder the growth of our business. Suppose that our employees are not clear with their responsibility. suppose there are 4 employees in our company, ठीक है, and we require 2 employees in the sale department and two employee in marketing marketing nahi, we can say manufacturing department. But what we have done, we have employed 3 employees in the sale department and 1 in the manufacturing. When the manufacturing would not happen, what we will do with the sale? How would sale happen when there would not be manufacturing? So we can say that in this company the internal control is very weak. So internal business perspective, basically it is hindering our financial perspective because we are not able to sell enough. Okay, we are hindering the customer perspective. Why? Because we are not able to fulfill the demand of the customer. The customer are demanding 4 washing machines, but we are able to manufacture only 1 because we do not have any the worker power in our manufacturing department, so we are not able to fulfill their demand. Okay, so that's why I'm saying that internal business perspective is very important to certainly support other perspectives. Okay, this is what the internal business perspective is. The fourth is learning, innovation and growth. What learning, innovation and growth perspective is, it basically says that we should not move ahead by leaving the market behind. Okay, and we should not grow in such a way that market has left us behind, market can left us behind. Okay, we should grow ahead, we should move ahead with the market. We should continuously check and see what changes are happening in the market, whether we are able to fulfill the demand, what new fashion is coming in the market. Okay, that is the only way to grow ahead. Okay, as I said earlier, the example of Nokia cannot grow ahead with the market and it ruined later on. Okay, secondly, we have to understand what market want. We have to innovate new technology as well. Suppose one of our machine is very old, it is this much of I could say maintaining cost of that machinery, and we could not able to generate revenue from that. What we can do, we can certainly change that with the other machinery. Okay, let me give you an example of growth. Okay, in 1860 what happens, all the steel industries were producing good quality of steel, but still it ruined. Why they were producing the good quality of steel? Because they were forced to do so by the English. What they were doing, they were compelling the industries to produce a good quality of steel, and that steel could be used only in Europe. Okay, because if you are making a good quality of steel, it will cost higher, and India that time was a poor country, so people of India could not afford that steel here. So what English did, English compelled the Indian industries to produce the good quality of steel only. They sold all the steel in the Europe, and that was in the in a very low cost. Okay, because there was no demand of that steel in India. They could not sell anything, they could not get anything in exchange of that good quality of steel, so they were compelled even to sell that in Europe. And since they sold it in Europe, they got very less than their cost. So it's not all about whether that you're producing good quality of goods and you are getting profit. Okay, you have to understand the market, grow ahead with the market, and if new technologies are coming in the market, you have to adopt that as well. Okay, these are the 4 aspects which we can use while preparing any balance scorecard. Now let us look what kind of questions can be asked in the exam from balance scorecard? Okay, the first kind of question I can say could be completely theory question. What a complete theory question can be like, describe balance scorecard. Okay, describe balance scorecard. This can be a complete theory question. And now if there is a question like this, like describe balance scorecard, you have to mention these two figures. This 1992, it's initiated in 1992 by Robert Kaplan and David Norton. If you're mentioning this, you'll definitely get some additional marks than others. Okay, because when examiner are checking something, they will certainly feel some they will certainly be monotonous. Okay, that everyone is writing the same answer because everyone is reading the same resource. But when they will find some additional resource, they will certainly get some relief that yes, this guy knows additional than others. They'll certainly give some additional marks to you as well. Sorry. So first question can be this, or this can be like, what is the financial aspect of a balance scorecard? So when this kind of question is asked, like, what is the financial aspect of balance scorecard, you can say this, that it's for the shareholder. We check whether we are able to fulfill our profit targets or not. Okay, what our goals can be in the finance. Our goal can be ROI. It can be measured with ROI, return on investment. It can be measured with RI. We can write these kind of things. Okay. Second type of question can be theoretical plus practical. I could not say this is completely theory. I could not say this is fully practical. This kind of question is given in our study material as well. Let me take that from there. Wait a second. Like this question. If you can see this illustration, Standard Telecom is a leading cellular service provider having global presence. Okay, it aimed to be the most innovative and trusted telecom company in the world. To achieve this aim, it's constantly working to overall functions, trying to adopt the best management practices in the world. Following are some of information related to company's performance for a particular period. We are given with some data. It's operating ratio, average revenue. Now I could say, while reading this question, you can certainly say this can certainly come in your mind that this is completely practical question because there are a number of figures given here. But if you read the answer, what it's saying, analyze the performance of the company using balance scorecard. It is telling us to analyze the performance. How can we analyze? As I said, there are four ways. There are four aspects which we can use to prepare the balance scorecard. The first is financial perspective, second is customer perspective, third is internal business perspective, fourth is learning, innovation, growth perspective. Now let's see the first figure. It's operating ratio. It's saying that operating ratio of current year is 60%, the base year is 54%, and our target was to reduce this to 50%. So in base year, what we have decided that currently our operating ratio is 54, but we have to reduce it to 50. That's what they have decided in the past. But what happened now? It increased to 60. It's certainly missing the target. Okay, we have target to reduce it, but it has increased it. So look this, the balance scorecard in method, it certainly describe the balance scorecard. It told about the 4 dimensions and it described this question on the basis of every dimension. The first dimension is financial dimension, and in financial dimension it firstly described the operating ratio, that our operating ratio should be 50%, means that was our target to reduce it to 50%, but we certainly increased it to 60, so we are not able to achieve the target. We are unable to achieve the target. Now come to the second. It is average revenue per user. Now average revenue per user, it's all about the revenue. It's about the revenue, so it's about the financial aspect again. Okay, our base year, the revenue was 210 and our target was to increase it to 250. But what we did, we got success to increase it to 225 only. Okay, I can say that we increased it, we did better than the past, but not as much as we expected. Okay, so here we can write that however it increased from 210 to 225, but it is still less than our target, so we are again not able to achieve our target. Okay, the third is unresolved customer complaint. Now if it's about customer complaint, I could say it's the customer perspective or customer perspective. Okay, what this is that the unresolved customer complaints were 225,000 in the past year, and our target was to reduce it by 20%. By, mind the word by. Okay, so our target was to reduce it to by 20%. So I could say that our target was to reduce it to 20,000. Okay, but in current year it's still 27,500. Means our target was to reduce it, but we increased it. So I could write in the customer perspective that however our target was to reduce the customer complaints, but we certainly increased it, so we are not able to achieve our target again. Okay, the third is customer relationship center. And look, by reading the customer relationship center, you can certainly say that it's related to customer perspective. Okay, because it's about the customer relationship, but you needed to think it here that we are saying that our customer relationship centers were 280 in the past. It were 280 and our target was to increase it to 250. Means we wanted to make some customer relationship center. We are not saying about resolving the complaint, or we are not saying about maintaining the relationship with the customer. We are saying about making the centers. Okay, making the center is a business perspective. We wanted to expand our business. We wanted somewhere to resolve more complaints, and to resolve the complaint we wanted to make the center. So making center comes under internal business perspective. Okay, and resolving the center or resolving the complaint or maintaining the relationship with the customer comes under customer perspective. Okay, so in internal business perspective, I can write that our target was to increase it to 250, but we increased it to 280. So I can say that we are able to achieve a target of customer relationship center in this question. Good. The fourth is employee coverage under training program, and now we are giving training to employee. So we are certainly motivating the employee to learn the new things, okay, for their growth. So employee training comes under learning and growth perspective. Now what is this? The base year, we have target that we have target to increase the employee under training program to 15%. Means at least 15% of employees should be there in the training program. Okay, but what we achieved, only 10%. Means 10% of our employee are under training program. So we are still lacking behind our target. So we can write that we are not able to achieve our target of employee growth. Okay, so in this time you have to describe all the aspect. You have to read all the point and you have to describe it thoroughly, that whether we have achieved it or not achieved. It's simple. Okay, it's not something rocket science and there is only one question in our study material relating to balance scorecard. Look, there can be some practical question as well. What I'm saying practical, it would not again be completely practical, but like the question we have done recently, it was more theory and less practical. And there could be questions which are more practical and less theoretical. This kind of question as well. Like what can be that? We are given a table, we are given some figure, we are given the again the ROI figure, RI figure. Okay, we are given the weightage. Suppose 10% weight to ROI we are giving 25% weight to RI. we are giving customer relationship, customer complaints, customer relationship maintenance, somehow the weight of 20% or so on. Okay, the new training, the weight of training is given, suppose 30%. Okay, this kind of question is given, we are given the figures as well. Now what we have to done in this type of question, in answer write the balance scorecard. We are told here to, okay, in the question it's mentioned that the prepare balance scorecard. So what we will do, write the balance scorecard, segregate in 4 aspects: financial, customer, business perspective, and learning, innovation, and growth perspective. Okay, now compute the weight of financial perspective. It's 0.35. Suppose the base year it was given that ROI was 10%. Our target was to increase it to 20%, but we can increase it to 15% only. Okay, so I can say in this we are not able to achieve our target and the weight is 10%, yani in 10% we failed. Okay, the 10% importance is given and we failed in achieving that. Similarly, 20%, 25% weightage is given to RI. Our target, our base year, it was like suppose 10,000 residual income. Okay, our target was to increase it to 15k, but we did it to 20k. So I can say that we achieved it. Okay, and since the weight is 25%, I could say that in 25% case, or I could say in 25% weight thing, we achieved our target. So overall in financial perspective, we achieved our target. You can describe it here. However, we did not meet our target of ROI and we made it of RI. Okay. Similarly, in other aspect, you can write the things in the same way. Okay, these kind of question could also be there. So guys, this is all from my side on balance scorecard. I do not think anything is left in balance scorecard. So thank you so much for hearing. Thank you. Have a nice day.